All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to CAGcast episode number 754. I'm your host, GPD, here in Long Island, New York. And as always, we're joined by a man who doesn't even know if he can use the term JRPG or not, Wombat.
Hello.
Do you know
Am I
if you
supposed
can,
to use?
do you know,
I don't, oh,
you don't know?
JRPG?
You don't know? That's offensive now.
Oh, okay.
You can't use that.
I won't say it.
You missed the discourse today.
I did. I missed all of it, I guess. I was too busy doing other things.
Like what?
Working? We'll say working.
No, really, though.
Working?
On that Fortnite season pass?
On that? No, I finished that like 2 weeks ago.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Working on Elliot's season pass?
No, I finished that. Actually, I'll finish that tomorrow.
Oh my God. That's a lot.
Mm-hmm. It is.
That is a lot. So what's been going on?
Actually, I thought you would enjoy the story, and B, I'm very curious to know how you would react in the situation. This is one of those.
Interesting.
So if you hate the story, it's because I just oversold it now. But
I'm assuming that I'm going to just go ahead and assume that you acted incorrectly. But let's see how we do.
Okay, so a couple of weeks ago, in between since our last show, I went to the movies. The movie that I saw, we'll discuss in a little bit. That's not the purpose of the story.
It was Ant-Man.
It was Ant-Man. At one point,
the ants are part of the experience. You can't complain about the ants.
No, I had to get up and pee.
Okay.
So I did. I go and I pee, but I was enjoying the film, so I wanted to hurry back. And and I'm moving quickly back into the theater. And as I turn the corner into this pitch black theater, someone else turned the corner at the exact same time.
Oh my God.
And hit me full speed collision.
Wow. Is this like when the bike hit you?
I had a bruise here and here for a week.
Oh my shit.
And
how was the other guy though?
The other guy was fine.
Right.
Was not hurt. No one was seriously hurt. I only really probably got bruised because of the glasses.
Right.
The problem was the person I hit was an autistic teenager.
Oh my God.
And I felt like the worst person.
But nothing bad. He didn't flip out or anything.
He didn't flip out, but he like freaked out a little bit. And I felt terrible. I think it was more the shock than anything else.
Right.
And his parents came over and were like, it's okay. It's okay. It's okay. God. And I'm like, I'm so sorry. And they were like, no, it's not your fault.
Right.
And I was like, but it doesn't mean I don't feel terrible.
Right.
And then I just went back to my seat, but I could feel my face was throbbing for like 3 days.
Did you learn your lesson that you should pee before the movie starts?
I did. I just had to pee again. I don't know.
You'd be drinking too much at the movie, maybe.
I drink too much in general. But yeah, that was my story.
Oh my God.
It was in the dark. The getting smacked at full speed
in the dark
when you're not expecting it
sounds tantalizing.
It's like nightmare fuel there.
You were actually in the theater at that point?
I opened the door, walked into the theater, and there's like a wall between the seats.
Why was the kid going the other way?
This way when the doors open, light doesn't shine in.
Same reason Wombat was coming back this way.
He had to go pee.
Out to go pee, I'm sure.
He was probably, exactly.
Oh, he probably needs a chaperone though, I feel.
There was part of me that would say in the dark in that situation, a chaperone probably would have been a good idea.
Oh, I meant for you.
Oh, for me, yes.
No, I'm just kidding.
Yes, for me too. But it was quite startling.
Do you think when the kid got back to his seat, he told his parents, "Hey, I just ran into an autistic middle-aged guy"?
Probably said that exact same. Yes. Mm-hmm.
I hope he's okay. He seemed to be freaking out a lot.
I can't believe he has children.
Right.
Yeah.
Wow. So did we be able to enjoy it? Well, we'll talk about the movie later.
We'll talk about the movie later, but
there's no way. How could I have handled that situation? Like, how could anyone handle that situation any better than you did?
That's what I was just saying. I appreciate the affirmation.
You could have given the kid like a couple bucks, maybe.
Yeah.
Buy some treats.
I also this when we were leaving the theater.
Yeah.
I made sure to go out of my way to go a different way. Like I didn't want to.
Wait,
like,
that's not nice.
Wait, that wasn't the path I thought you were going to go.
Right.
I didn't want to. No, I just wanted to
make
avoid.
Sure he was okay while you left.
I could tell. I saw them get up and leave, and I saw that he was fine, and I'm like, I don't want to further.
Or a nice gift card to the movie theater. Would be nice.
I'm not. Yeah, I'm like, you know what? I'm just avoiding.
You just crossed the street. Interesting.
But I did. I had like a nice bruise.
Yikes!
Right there.
I'm glad you're okay.
Thank you.
Yeah.
It was interesting.
Yeah. Right. Oh my.
So what's new with you?
So wait, hold on. So now the movie's in progress when this happens?
The movie had not ended yet. Yes.
So then you have this accidental assault, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
And so you go back to your seat, and you say something to your family who's watching the movie, or no, you don't say anything.
As I walked past my wife, and I said, "You won't believe what just happened to me. I'll talk to you later. Is my face bleeding?"
She probably hears that a lot, though.
Yeah, and I wasn't. Shockingly enough, my face was not bleeding. There was no bloody nose. It felt like my nose was bleeding, which was even weirder.
Right.
Like I could feel, like, because I guess just the throbbing of your face after the hit. But
all right. This is why I don't go to the movies anymore. That and disease.
Mm-hmm. Yep. What can you do?
I have a story that you'll appreciate too, and you know part of the story, but you don't know the best part of the story.
Okay.
So while we were off around 9:00 at night, I happened to be walking past my front door, and I see outside on the doorway is a bag from the sub shop. What's it called? Uncle John's? Not Uncle John's. Mikey's.
Jersey Mike's. Yeah. Jersey Mike's.
Jersey Mike's. I've never been to Jersey Mike's before, but there's apparently some food sitting on my door. I take it inside.
That's how they're advertising now.
What's that?
That's how they're advertising
drop some
now.
food off at your house. Obviously, I didn't order it. I look at the receipt on it, and it's the only information on there is where it's coming from, which is the Jersey Mike's, and their phone number. I call them up. It's closed. They close at 9. No one answers. There's nothing you can do. It's just I look in the bag. It's a giant fucking sandwich.
That's what it's called in the menu, actually.
It was the number 13 with shipwreck.
Yeah, it's a giant.
But it's like the Italian sandwich, right?
The number 13 is the Italian, yes.
Right.
The
giant size.
Mike's way.
Yes. So I told Ship and Wombat about it in our little text message chat, and Wombat I seemed like very excited about it, but I just ate dinner, and so I really had no purpose for it, and I couldn't even throw it out really because I don't want a big ass sandwich sitting in my fucking garbage can until the next garbage pickup. So I just put it in the refrigerator. Maybe I'll eat it for lunch the next day. Who knows? Maybe I didn't even look at the sandwich. I didn't even know what it was.
It's a good sandwich.
So the next day, Ty is home because it's break. And Mrs. Chibi's at work, and I'm like, hey, maybe we could eat the sandwich for lunch, and we don't have to go, and the sandwich doesn't go to waste, and we don't have to leave the house. So I open the sandwich up, and it looks great. It's like the Italian sandwich, like looks really nice. It's fucking giant though. Of course, I'm like, Ty, you eat half, and I'll eat half. I eat half.
It's still a lot of sandwich. Half of a giant is a lot of sandwich.
Yes, and it was too spicy. I had to take off whatever the spicy meat was because it was.
I think it's the capicola or however you say that. It's got the peppers
on the
outside of it, right?
I took that out because I felt like it was gonna give me the shits. I took that out, and Ty takes a bite of the sandwich, and he's like, "Nah, I'm not gonna eat this." He's like, "I'm gonna go get something else," and he's out. So now I have this other half of sandwich, but I don't want to throw it out in the garbage can because it's just going to be, it's a kind of smelly, Italian sandwich. So I'm like, let me just put it down my garbage disposal. And that's how a sandwich cost me $500.
Oh no.
Now it's only.
Oh no.
Now in theory, my theory is that we haven't confirmed that it was the sandwich.
It was the sandwich.
Of course it was a sandwich.
You tried to put an enormous.
No. It was only half. It was a half a sandwich, and I took it, I took it apart and stuff. And I've had that disposal for like a long time, and it grinds it up.
Next time, take the meat out of the sandwich.
It wasn't that much meat. It wasn't that much. No, I'm not doing that. What's the point of having a garbage disposal if it diced
and then you make a really nice omelet with the sandwich meat.
It didn't fuck up the garbage disposal. Maybe it did nothing. Maybe it's just a complete coincidence that this happened at the similar time.
Sounds like it, yeah.
But But the garbage disposal was working fine, but the pipe got clogged down like later in the house. Like, you know.
Even the pipe was like, I don't want Jersey Mike's.
Exactly. That's like, well, this is my theory. And so like the plumber came and I told him my theory and he's like, yeah, maybe. And he's got his snake, but apparently his snake isn't long enough. And he has to.
I know all about that.
You know this guy? You've worked with him? You dated him before? So I had to call a second plumber. And that's when we're getting close to the $500 range. Yeah, he had a 75-foot snake, which is what we needed for this job.
That's sometimes you need a 75-foot snake.
And I asked him, could it have been the sandwich? And I didn't really get a straight answer. We wound up talking about a lot of other things besides the clogged pipe. But for the purposes of this show, it was the sandwich that caused.
I think it was the sandwich.
$500 plumbing bill.
How did your plumbing handle it? Like, this was your first Jersey Mike's
it was fine. It wasn't that, like, a half of that sandwich isn't that much. And I took off, like I said, the spicy meat. And it didn't, I don't know. It's mostly bread, I feel.
Did it not have, like, the oil and vinegar?
It wasn't too much, though. I didn't feel. Like, seemed like a reasonable amount. But maybe not. Maybe it was all soaked in there and it clogged my pipes.
I've never had a Jersey Mike's sandwich. I wouldn't know.
Really?
It was fine. It was better than Subway. I would say it was better than Subway.
Oh, it's miles better than Subway.
Yeah.
We have a really good deli around the corner from here.
I'm sure that's better. I'm sure that's a lot better.
Yeah. The
Jersey
mom and
Mike's
pop.
it's not bad. Like I
ask my plumber.
A good deli sandwich. I get that. But Jersey Mike's is pretty good.
Right. It was nice. All right. Now our new sponsor. Jersey Mike's and local plumber
and Roto-Rooter.
They have a 2-for-1 combo. So they send the guy over 45 minutes later after dinner. All right.
So did you get a new garbage disposal, or are you still?
No, the garbage disposal's fine. I said it was fine.
Okay.
Just the pipe later down got clogged. So in theory, what could have happened? I googled this. What could have happened was that the bread gets broken down, but it absorbs water. And if you don't,
it congealed later on down your pipes.
If you don't flush it out enough,
ran out of flow.
If I didn't use enough water to flush it down, apparently, which is possible.
Yeah.
So what's the moral of the story? Just throw the sandwich out. When the free food comes, just throw it out, basically.
I think the moral of the story is every time anyone eats a sandwich, they should be sure to drink a bottle of water immediately afterwards.
Right, a lot of water for 30 seconds.
Yeah, drink a lot of water after you eat a sandwich.
Oh. I did pour Drano down there, Panthers, in the chat. I did. It did not work. Trust me. You don't think I fucking tried to pour Drano before I knew I had hundreds of dollars in plumbing bills coming my way? Come on, man. I've ridden this horse before. I know the drill. And it always ends with, here's what it always ends with. A lot of water and the Drano and me calling the plumber. So everything smells like chemicals and the plumber has to come.
And the plumber knows you have no idea what you were doing.
Yes. And I explained to him, sorry that I now have this pool of toxic water that you have to wade through to do your job.
Nice.
And he knows, he takes one look at me. He knows I'm not good with tools.
Yeah.
I spent some money as well this week since the last show.
Yes.
So I think I've talked about it before. Like I've put some of the Lutron Casada switches, the smart switches in around my house.
You got me to buy one.
And I had done about half of the house by myself, right? Like I'd installed them, and then just kind of slowed to a halt on the rest of the house because like my kids are like, it takes me a while to switch these out. And it's not
like the most tense thing you can do as a homeowner is to like fuck with a light switch in a room, I think.
It's just a lot of like going up and down, make sure you get the right breakers off, and like trying to keep the kid, like they're not going to touch it, but at the same time you're like, don't touch any of this while this is out. And they're, of course, when you say that, they're just like constantly like hovering around you while you're trying to do this.
Right.
And so like I'm finally like, all right, I have about half of the switches I need. I just need to get them installed. So I'm going to call a electrician to come out and just finish these up. And so he came out and did the quote. He's like, are you going to buy them, or do you want us to buy them? He's like, there's going to be a markup, obviously, when we buy them. So I'm like, no, I can buy them. I've ordered them off Amazon before. I'll just order the rest off Amazon. So he's like, okay, just call me when they come in. And so like 2 days later, I'm like, okay, it's Amazon. They're here. Like I open it up, it's 2-3 packs of these, like and then so he comes out, he starts working on stuff, like preparing stuff, and then he opens up the boxes, and these are still sealed boxes that came, and opens up the first box. Should have been like $175 worth of smart switches in there, a pack of baby wipes. Just a pack of baby wipes. Open up the second box, same exact thing. And so I've got $350 worth of baby wipes that somebody has returned in the guise of smart switches from Amazon. So then it's like, I'm like, okay, well, it's Amazon. They deal with this all the time. They're just going to like, they're going to credit my account because they can look at my account and see that like I'm not like scammer, like I'm not frauding them. Like I've spent enough money there.
Yeah.
And so but I'm like, I can't, I'm trying to do the online chat stuff, and like none of the options are coming up to like, like, hey,
I've been scammed.
Right,
the old baby wipe scam.
Right. The baby wipe scam was not one of the pre-built options. And so like I have to like get the person, right? Like I'm like, no, I need to chat with an individual, and I'm still doing like the online chat thing, whatever. And so I'm like, I'm just like explaining the situation, and they're like, okay, let me get this right. Like this happened, you didn't get the right thing. And I'm like, yeah, and they're like, was the box damaged at all? I'm like, no, the box looked 100% fine. Like
that's crazy.
They knew how to open the box up and stick something in there and then seal the box back up. It's not rocket science.
Yeah,
like
there's probably a way to do that.
Right. And so they're like, okay, that's fine. We can give you money back. How do you want it? Do you want an Amazon credit or back on your payment? I'm like, back on my payment. It's like, okay, well, that'll go back once you've returned those. And I'm like,
really? You want those?
Really? You want these back?
It's not. I mean, clearly that's a scam that somebody pulls.
Yes.
On Amazon, but
sure.
What are they going to do with the baby? It's not like they're
going to sell the baby wipes as baby wipes.
They probably don't even sell those.
They're going to get it back, and they're going to look at it and then go like, "What's going on here?" And then they're going to have to go look up on the computer.
They don't understand the situation.
Did you get your money back yet?
I haven't returned them yet. They gave me a chore.
Jesus.
Right? I got a chore out of this.
They make it easy though with the.
It's easy, but I still
just
have
to
go to
Kohl's.
I know it's not a Kohl's return. I have to go to a UPS drop-off location.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Kohl's doesn't take the baby wipe scam stuff back, apparently.
Gotcha.
But all the smart switches are in. Everything's.
You know what's great about that scam
working.
Is that it's like how they put that together, right? They have to find a product where they can manipulate the box to make it look like it's never been opened.
And then they got to Indiana Jones that shit to get the weight right.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. And it has to all work out financially, put it together. And there's only certain products. And then when that one gets discovered, they're going to have to move on to some other thing. Like you feel like these people are probably like pretty clever. Imagine if they just had like a regular job. They could probably do okay.
Since it was a return, they probably have that UPC in the system and know who returned it the first time.
Maybe. I don't know. Like I don't think they serial track these things. So
you think it's just a return? It's not like that. It's not like some seller on there.
This was sold directly from Amazon. This wasn't like a third-party seller.
So it could be from like a distributor even.
Shipped. Yeah. Like they're not going to, they're not going to be able to figure it out. Right. All I know is,
oh man,
I'm going to get $350 back by returning 2 packages of baby wipes to them.
I would do it.
I would have called and asked to speak to a different human being.
I would just return the baby wipes.
Yeah,
the next time I'm in the area.
I'd already spent enough time on it, right? Yeah. Like the next time I'm in a UPS area.
Exactly. You can even keep them in your car. It's not like a dresser.
Yeah. So, yeah. But now, all the smart switches, fully smart switches.
They're great. I love those things. I use those in my bedroom. It's really nice. We don't have to get up.
They're nice.
The nice thing about them is they work with Siri and Alexa. And they have their own app too. So it really, and probably everything else if they work with those two things.
I should probably put those in my bedroom.
Yes, it's nice. If you ever like fight with your wife about getting out of bed to turn off the lights.
Well, especially with the dogs. Because it's like whoever gets up is going to lose their spot to the dog, and then they have to go through the motion again of moving the dog and like
God.
get out of my spot, and then it's like a whole thing. So yeah,
We had a dog stay with us this weekend, and
Really?
why
one of Mrs. Cheapy's friends came over and stayed
with a
us
dog?
with a big Lassie
That's
dog.
very
named,
nice of you.
Named Lassie.
That's very nice of you.
Why? 'Cause
I
of
wouldn't
so much
allow
hair.
I don't know if I'd allow a strange dog in my house.
They've been here before.
Okay.
They're big, much bigger now, though.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a real animal. It's a Lassie, named
Mhm.
Lassie, but it's a boy.
A collie.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
Mhm.
Technically, yes. I'm still cleaning up the hair, but it's not that bad.
Okay. Friendly. Collies are generally friendly dogs, so you're
Yes,
probably-
very like starved for attention. Like if you're doing something else, the thing was fucking miserable. It was kind of annoying.
Mm.
A little bit, but it was fine.
I understand. I have dogs.
Didn't shit or piss anywhere that it wasn't supposed to, so home run.
That's really all you can ask for.
Good
Some-
job, dog.
Drool though, there was drool.
Yeah.
I pointed a bunch at drool for people to clean up. That wasn't going to be me. I made Ty do it. I was like, "You like that dog? You clean it up. You think he's cute."
Mm-hmm.
What else?
I
Oh,
think that,
I-
yes.
Are you guys familiar with think sheets?
Nope.
Yeah, those are the smart paper towels, right?
Yeah,
Wi-Fi
no.
enabled.
Wi-Fi enabled paper towels. Yes.
Are they bed sheets?
No. So these are papers that come home with your child if they've done something at school that they should not have done.
Oh,
No, we don't get those.
Oh, okay. I didn't get any of them with my first child either. But
Okay. So it's like a new thing.
maybe.
So what did your son
'Cause
do?
my first child never got in trouble. Was
Right.
the so like he's gotten several of them throughout the year. Like early ones were I mean he's in kindergarten. So the early ones are like, hey, he's like grabbing other people or like not keeping his hands to himself. It's like, yeah, they're
Yeah.
Normal kindergarten stuff.
5 years old and wants to wrestle, like
Right.
normal stuff. Then we progress to the your son threw a shoe on top of the school roof. Like that was a that was
His
the one
shoe?
that happened. No, not his shoe. Of course,
Oh.
not his shoe.
Someone
It
else's
was-
shoe.
It was, I don't know, one of his friends took his shoe off at
Right.
recess and they were throwing it around.
Yep. Oops.
And then Dash just went like,
I can do
I
it.
guess I'm checking this on the roof.
Right.
I don't know. Which has happened now. Since that's happened, other kids have gotten think sheets about that same phenomena of
Mhm.
throwing shoes on the roof. I think they just need to make the roof higher. I think that's the
I was
solution.
gonna say.
This one though, the one that came home this week. So Monday he came home like super proud because they're learning like their 3D shapes, right? So he's got like, I don't know, 6 or 8 shapes, and he's like so proud. Like he made them all out of Play-Doh that day. It's like, yeah, I can make a cube and a cone and a sphere, and going through his whole list of whatever they were learning. So like super pumped.
Mhm.
So go back the next day, and Dash was very much the like, I'm going to be excited about it once, but then I'm ready to move on to the next thing. And so apparently they were doing it for day 2, right?
Uh-oh.
Like
Shapes again.
shapes again.
Didn't we cover all the shapes in day one? I
covered
mean,
all
how many
we covered
shapes
all
could there
the-
be?
I am familiar with the sphere, Mrs. So-and-so.
Right. But what if you put 2 spheres together
Uh-huh.
With a
then-
cylinder?
with a popsicle stick?
Yeah,
Ah.
that's good. Think about that.
Yeah, think about that. And so he thought about that,
Yeah.
and then he thought, this is pretty funny. I'm going to show it to everybody in the class.
Yeah, that's good.
So
He's
we got
advanced, I
the-
feel like.
Yeah, we got the think sheet about the Play-Doh penis from the kindergarten teacher.
I mean, it's funny.
Yeah,
It is
that one's getting
Yeah.
kept.
Well, you can't do much about that.
No. I could start laughing about it,
Right.
but
I miss
I don't-
drama like that.
yeah.
I would happily trade with you.
Move on to other shapes. This is my
Yeah.
next suggestion
Right.
on that.
Stick with the safe shapes like rectangles. Rectangles, duodecagons, like it's no problems there. Wow, we've been so busy over this break. We have so many stories to share.
I know, yeah.
And more to come, probably.
Maybe.
Maybe. You're not really going to read the show feedback, are you?
I don't know. Do you not want me to read any of it?
I mean, it's all just people kissing your ass for like 5 paragraphs.
I know.
It's 4
Isn't it
different
awesome?
ones. Well, like, why would you do that?
Because that's basically all there was.
I doubt it.
You were in this. You went in. I saw you commented.
Yeah, what are you even doing in there? CAGcast
What?
stance on this issue. What CAGcast stance? It's your stance. You can't say things like CAGcast stance.
I think we had a pretty clear stance that we
No,
agreed on.
we had nothing. You have everything. And it's changing, which is fine. But like, you can't say CAGcast stance. Please don't do that.
The general stance was that trans rights.
General
are human
stance
rights.
is fine. But CAGcast stance, bad.
That is the CAGcast stance. The CAGcast stance is that trans rights are human rights.
Sure, fine.
See,
But
that's
you don't need
all
to
I
use
said.
those. We don't need to even say the words CAGcast stance. I think
The
we can
CAGcast
agree that
stance.
nothing good can come out of us using the phrase CAGcast stance.
Even though we
Unless
did disagree on it.
we're talking about like some sporting position that we're in and trying to educate people in the right pose.
The CAGcast stance in ping pong is what?
Correct. I don't know. You get tired. You're in the proper position for 2 points, and then you get tired out on the 3rd point. And you stand up.
That would be the CAGcast stance. That's fair.
Yeah.
No, we just agreed on it, so I feel vindicated.
I was like, I read that, and I was like, what is he doing, CAGcast stance? No, stop.
It was exactly what I just said.
Okay, fine. Then we agree.
I know we agree. That's why I said it.
Okay, good.
I wouldn't say that if I didn't think we'd agree on it, and we agreed on it.
Good.
Run it
Yes.
by the lawyers first next time.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes, Mrs. Cheapy.
Are we going to call this episode the CAGcast stance?
No, never.
No, never.
Maybe if you remind me later. Or
Exactly.
we write it down somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Okay. So we agree we don't have to read these things.
No. If anything, should I read
Feel-
the last one because it's a sentence?
I don't know if you want
Okay,
to.
fine. No, never
No.
mind. No,
I don't
I'm
know.
not
It's
reading
all-
any. I
yeah.
don't want to hurt your feelings.
It's not going to hurt my feelings, but like,
Whatever.
I don't know.
This is what I'll say.
Yeah.
After the last show, people were much nicer to me than the show before it.
Well, you changed your stance on it.
Well, I
everything.
did.
It's cyclical.
I changed my stance because as a human being, I felt
Do you feel, let me ask you, I shouldn't say I feel. Do you feel, and I don't know like the extent of everything, because to be honest, 100% honest, as soon as Twitter banned that TweetDeck app, which I use, not TweetDeck, Tweetbot app,
Mhm.
I'm just really not on Twitter. Like I'll post stuff like direct from like photos and stuff, but I'm really barely on Twitter now. So I felt like I heard that you were like yelling at people on Twitter in the beginning when the game, like before the game came out or around the time that the game came out. So my question is that true? That you were
don't
like
think I was
confrontational. We can say
I
that.
don't think I was as confrontational as people think I was. I think people read things the way they want to read them.
Is that true? Is that accurate? Or, I mean, do you feel like when you were writing the things out, were you getting angry? Like when you were writing them, did you feel like
There was
that
definitely
rage in your hands?
there were There were definitely some angry tweets.
Yes.
But I don't think there were as many angry tweets as some people think there were.
Okay.
I think there's this
Okay.
false interpretation that there were like 15 angry tweets.
How
And
many
I
were
remember
there?
after the
What's the right
after
number of angry tweets.
Yeah.
I'm going to put the over under at 4.
Well, I count-
5. The over under is
I-
5, I feel.
I
that accurate?
counted the tweets I tweeted about the game
Uh-huh.
after the first time we talked about it because Shipwreck brought it up.
There's analytics.
And it was 2 tweets.
No, that can't be true.
Yeah, I think it was just 2.
I mean, anyway, so forget, it doesn't matter. We don't need to talk about that. But do you think like maybe you should apologize to some people that you yelled at? If you did yell at them, like, do you feel like you handled it well, the situation?
I did apologize to that one person.
Yeah, we
who I
already
blocked.
Okay.
I blocked
apologized.
one person
Okay.
because I specifically said, if you bought the game, I don't want to hear that you bought the game.
Right.
Don't at me in your tweet saying
Right.
that you bought the game. And then as soon as I tweeted that, the guy tweeted
Well, of
at
course
me
he's going
saying he
to.
bought the game.
Probably
So I
yeah.
blocked him
Sure.
because I said I was going to do it.
Sure.
It's like you know, it's not like I didn't.
Right.
All right, let's talk about. Let's.
But
talk
we're
about
going to
something
talk
that's
about the
not
game later.
emotional.
I'm level
Yeah.
17 in the game, so we're going to talk about
Get away
Hogwarts
from
Legacy
emotional
later.
harm and get into physical harm here.
But yeah,
Ant-Man.
Ant-Man Wombat.
Did we lose Wombat?
No,
no,
he's
I was just
getting
looking.
his.
You
he's
had
reading
me
the
on
chat.
how many tweets I tweeted about.
Oh
the
my goodness,
stupid
we're still
game.
doing this.
Oh, wait.
Ant-Man.
Okay, we're moving on to Ant-Man, and yeah, it was like 2. So whatever.
People email me things like they like. I don't know. When they all the receipts wind up getting emailed to me somehow. Like I'm
Well, you
like
don't
the
send them
arbiter.
to me, so
Well, I mean,
know.
what's the point? Like, there's no
Because they're
point.
talking about me. They have a problem with me. Pass them my way.
Some, well, I don't know. You know, whenever I get any long email, I'm always skeptical about any
I'm
long
pretty
email.
sure that all the people that had a problem with me
Yes.
have a problem with the position and not so much the game or anything
well,
I tweeted.
I think there's some really hardcore Harry Potter fans, is what I think there is. Who
Those people are sad.
it would be? Well, I mean, would you say like Star Trek people are sad? Well, I'm gonna answer
Yes.
that. But I mean, is it
Yes.
any different, really? Like, you can be like an
Yes.
adult and have like be a fan of.
Sure,
something like that.
but if someone that you don't know says something about it that's contrary to your beliefs to the point where you feel personally offended and have to send a letter about it, you have
Well,
a fucking problem.
I feel like if somebody said that liking Fortnite was bad somehow, like,
I hear that every goddamn day.
and what happens?
I move on with my life and I communicate with the people that feel differently than me.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Shipwreck's moving on. He's reading he's checking
Yeah.
the clock.
I'm like, you just, whatever. Let's
Well,
talk about
the
Ant-Man.
good news is the game is really good, and we're going to talk.
I don't care. Let's
Why
talk
not?
about Ant-Man. We're
Okay,
talking
let's talk about
Ant-Man.
Ant-Man. Is the Ant-Man really good? Because I saw a Rotten
Jesus.
Tomato score. It would look bad.
The Rotten Tomato score is unfair. To
Really?
this movie, yes. Shipwreck, is the Rotten Tomato score unfair?
I mean, I don't know if it's unfair. I don't agree with it. It seems like this is at worst middle of the road Marvel movie.
The audience
Yeah,
doesn't agree either.
It's probably a good 7.75 out of 100. Maybe.
I
a little
enjoyed
bit
it.
higher. Yeah.
I enjoyed it. So
Mhm.
I don't know. I think this is the first one of, I don't know, a long string of Marvel movies where I'm like, oh, we're going somewhere. Like there's a bigger plan here that we're trying to get to. Like this isn't just a weird offshoot movie that doesn't really connect to anything. So I don't know. It's interesting that, I mean, it's doing well. It's underperforming, I guess, for a Marvel movie. And I'm sure they wish the reviews were better since this is really kicking off their next big, like, I don't know, phase of, I don't know this. I've lost track of what's in what phase. I just know that this is the first one. It's like, oh, okay, we have a big bad guy that we're going to use across multiple
This is phase
movies.
5, I believe. The first movie of phase 5.
Okay, so it is a beginning of a phase. Phase 4
yeah.
was just like nothingness, right? It was just
nothing
we're
happened
wandering around
yeah.
and we don't know what
Mhm.
we're doing.
Yeah. Yeah, the phase 4 was, I don't know, we had a plan and then COVID, and this is what you get. Have some TV shows. Phase 5 is, here's Ant-Man, and we're cutting half our TV shows. So, I mean, I could definitely see some of the criticism is, I can't even speak. Some of the criticism is valid. I think that it's a big CGI world movie. If you don't like movies that don't have any real locations in them, then this isn't the movie for you. And I don't know if the movie suffers because of it. Maybe there should have been a mix. If anything, the previous 2 Ant-Man movies probably had more real locations than a lot of other, comparatively to other Marvel movies,
Sure.
taking place in San Francisco and using San Francisco as, locations as part of plot points. So taking them out of San Francisco so quickly and putting them into the Quantumverse, and the Quantumverse being this CGI world with all these, new and wacky characters, it was very Thor Ragnarok. But it wasn't as good as Thor Ragnarok. but but there are a lot of similar beats. I'll say the jokes in Ant-Man Quantumania were better than the jokes than Thor: Love and Thunder, but that's not saying much.
Because there's less cancer in that one, or no?
There is less cancer in this one.
Yeah,
Yes,
it takes a lot of the humor out of things, I find.
yeah. I think that maybe if they had maybe cut down or even had a jump back and forth between here's something that's going on in the real world while this is happening in the quantum realm to kind of balance it, it could have worked a little bit better.
They
needed
needed something, and it was time for an Ant-Man movie, and they don't have that many characters yet left that people care about currently, right? So this is the character they went with to kick off this wave, and it was a much different movie than the other Ant-Man movies. I don't really have a problem with it. It's
fine. I think there should have been like some sort of B plot with the ex-con guys in San Francisco. Yeah,
they're busy. They're probably saving the world or something.
They should have been there. That's all.
That would have been difficult to get them in there. Unless they were, you'd have to. I feel like if you went that route, you'd have a 3-hour movie, and I didn't need a 3-hour movie.
I think they could have spent less time with quantum stuff. I think some of it was unnecessary. So I don't know, but that's just me. But I don't want to spoil it for anyone.
I got a colonoscopy yesterday, so I needed like a lot of shit to watch while I just sat on my couch for the day.
Mm-hmm.
So I watched You People on Netflix. That's the Jonah Hill written and starred in film with Eddie Murphy.
How was that?
Very bad. Very, very, very bad. It makes no sense whatsoever. It's like, I was surprised to see that Jonah Hill wrote that. But obviously it was just like a cash grab. It's like really... Like the guy, like his character, this is how like dumb it is. His character is a professional podcaster. Okay. That's his character. But also his character gets into situations where he cannot express himself verbally at all. In like situations that are not particularly crazy, like quitting a job, like resigning from, quitting a job or just talking to, your future father-in-law, not being able to put words together that make sense. The guy is literally a fucking professional broadcaster, but also can't talk. That's a main part of the movie, which is never really explained why that's a thing. But and there's like a big Jewish part to it. He plays like a white Jewish guy marrying a black girl who's Eddie Murphy's daughter, who's Muslim. And all the Jewish jokes are bad. Everything is just bad. It's a good movie to watch on an airplane, I would say. It's a perfect type of movie for an airplane. Where like if you couldn't watch the last 20 minutes because the plane landed, you would be totally fine. It just killed the time. And when the pilot comes on to interrupt the movie, you'd be like, yeah, it's okay. I don't need to hear that part. So yeah, you could probably skip that one if you're not on an airplane.
Sounds good.
Yeah. Black Adam would also be a good airplane movie.
I watched that.
I know you did.
I finally got around to watching Black Adam.
That movie's so bad.
Why is everything in the DC universe gold? Why does everything have a gold sheen to it?
Chinese people like it. Good luck.
Is that it?
I was just joking.
It's just so distracting.
Sounds plausible.
It's just so distracting. Like everything is just like kind of like gold dusted throughout. Like every scene has like a gold hue to it. I don't know. It's fine. Black Adam's
good amount of skateboarding. Just a perfect sprinkling of skateboarding throughout the film.
Skateboarding 5 feet at a time.
And, Black Adam gets to know that they're mining the space rocks because they shoot a missile at him that says the name of the space rock on the side of the missile.
And maybe it hurts him, but not too bad.
And he's like, oh my God, I can't believe they still have eubatanium in this here, because it says it right here on the side of this missile that I caught with my hands for no other reason than for me to read this word and then throw it away.
I thought it would have been a half hour shorter without all the slow-mo scenes too.
Or the skateboarding scenes. Totally a half hour. I couldn't believe, I never saw the end of the movie because I paused it at one point and it said there was still a half an hour left. And I said, that can't be right. And something must be wrong.
And this movie's over already. It didn't even need the Justice Society.
Well, I
They
like
were-
seeing
they
that
were
guy. I like that. That was the highlight of the movie for me. Was Dr. Fate. That was cool. That was like a good
Yeah, sure,
representation of him.
Dr. Fate is cool,
Right.
but he didn't need to be there.
No, but I feel like he brought something. None of the other characters were really interesting, I felt. I like just the concept of Dr. Fate in general, I guess.
Yeah,
and
sure.
certainly Timothy Dalton is a delight, always.
Didn't like Wind Girl?
No.
You mean Pierce Brosnan?
Whatever, they're the same person. If they've ever been in the same room together, you can't prove that at all.
I don't know. I don't know. I mean, it was there. I watched it because I'm like, oh.
You were on an airplane.
No,
Oh.
I was just sitting here and I was looking at the movies that I hadn't watched, and I'm like, oh, there's all these DC movies that I feel like I need to at least experience. And every time I'm like, I don't know why I did that again.
You can stop. You can always stop and not watch to the end. In fact, I feel like that says something about your character when you do that.
Good or bad?
I don't know. I'm not saying. But also someone brought up Airplane in the chat, and I made Ty watch Airplane over the break, and we watched it and enjoyed. He couldn't the whole time. He was like, "What the fuck is this?" He's like, "What is happening?" But he liked it.
Good.
I don't need to explain Airplane, people.
Hmm.
What else?
And I watched Lyle Lyle Crocodile.
Is that a
on
cartoon?
Amazon. It's a
Live
action animated.
Oh, the old Lyle Lyle Crocodile.
Yeah,
I know that.
Lyle Lyle Crocodile. They made him. I don't remember this from the books, but he can't talk, but he can sing.
I don't like that.
I literally have no idea.
I don't like that.
Yeah, so it's a musical, which it's not bad for a kids' film. Like, you're not going to want to watch it.
Yeah, I know.
I can tell that. But as far as it could be much worse, it could have been much worse than what it was. So great job.
I'm not watching.
Lyle Crocodile people.
Right. What else?
I watched a lot of stuff. I saw that they put a live concert of The Weeknd up on HBO.
Okay.
And so I'm like, oh, okay. I like The Weeknd's music.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody likes The Weeknd's
I do,
music,
a lot.
right? Right. So I'm like, he's kind of a offbeat dude. Let me see like what a full concert experience is like.
Right.
And it's in SoFi Stadium, like where the LA Rams play and everything.
Yeah.
So it's it's gonna be huge.
Yeah.
It's visually appealing. I think you would enjoy it, Cheapy. You might want to fast
4K?
forward through some of it.
4K or no?
I don't remember.
All right.
But it's that hour and a half long. It's
Okay, I'll check that out.
impressive. Like you would think like he does, like he's not constantly dancing, but he does a lot of dancing. He's moving around, like he's walking this whole like football field, like size. Like you'd think this guy would just be like out of breath and just like super sweaty and just like
they're athletes. These guys, constantly performing. It's
amazing that he could just like, it's just him like singing the whole time too, right? Like it's not like there's dancers, but
right. Everyone's looking at one guy for the whole time. He has to be
just
doing
one
something.
time, and he's just like, he's pretty incredible.
Yeah,
but
I was listening to Howard today, and Kiss were on there. I don't remember which. I don't know who was talking, but one of the guys was saying he's had like so many parts replaced because just from like running around on stage for 50 years, and all of his doctors are sports medicine doctors because he has basically what are sports injuries.
That makes sense.
Yep. What about on the TV side?
I watched on Netflix. I may be pronouncing it wrong. Kunk on Earth.
It's pronounced cunt, I believe.
No, Kunk. Have you watched any of that? Because I think it's right up your alley, Cheapy. It's very funny.
I saw a little clip of it, and it did seem funny.
It is very funny. It's like a fake documentary. They've done a handful of them. I know she's done a bunch for the BBC. It's a British show. I watched clips of some of the older ones, but this is, I think, the first one that's being shown in the US, at least on Netflix. And she talks to real experts about world history, but she's sort of, says
goofy.
funny things. She's goofy and says funny things. And it's really funny.
It's basically,
really
from what I saw, and you can tell me if I'm wrong, it's basically like Borat or Ali G.
Nope, I was going to say that to you.
But not as ridiculous because she's not in a costume or
No,
she's just being a little goofy.
Yeah.
She's like 50, like a turn Ali G or Borat turned down like 70%, maybe.
Yeah, like a toned down Borat,
Yeah.
but still very clever.
Okay. I would watch that. Yeah.
Yeah. And like an episodes are only like 20 minutes long and there's only 5 of them.
Right.
So I think you could like pop it out and you would laugh.
Yeah.
And I think I think you would actually really like it.
Okay. I'm going to watch that with Mrs. Cheapy. I think I can convince her.
I think she might like that too. Yeah. I think it's a good show for you guys to watch. I highly recommend it.
I because as I mentioned before, I had a colonoscopy and I had to sit around and watch it. And I only wanted to watch like nonsense. So I watched this show, Perfect Match, which is like a reality show. By the way, have you guys had a colonoscopy before? How old are you, Wombat?
No.
45.
That's time.
I know.
45, they say you have to do it when you're 45 now.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what that entails?
Sticking a tube in my anus.
Entrails.
But do you know what it entails before that?
Drinking something that makes me shit all day.
Oh my God, dude. They give you like this jug. It's like 128 ounces or some ridiculous thing. Like the jug that like almost doesn't fit in your refrigerator. And it has this powder in it and you mix it up together and you got to drink. They tell you to drink half of it like the night before and then half of it 6 hours before, which before the surgery, before the procedure. And in my case, that was at 4 a.m. So like set your alarm for 4 a.m. and basically it tastes like Drano with like a splash of lime in it. And I couldn't even like drink a fraction of it. But luckily, like you get to the point where you're literally pissing out your ass. Like it's not like any shit you've ever taken before or any diarrhea that you've had. It's imagine like just somehow your things got mixed up and now you're pissing out your ass. Like the tube inside you got mixed up. That's what it's like. But I was lucky in that I was able to clear my colon out without having to drink. I couldn't get it down. It was making me gag. But anyway, what really helped.
Can't I just poop in a box and bail it somewhere?
I saw that SNL thing. Well, I didn't see it, but I saw that it exists. And that does exist.
I mean, I know the product.
It's not as effective. It's not as effective as this.
I know,
the actual procedure is very easy because they put you to sleep with an IV. And I this time I told them I'm going to be watching. I think you should leave while you put this IV in me. And they were very nice about that. So there are no problems there. You're just asleep while they do their thing. But afterwards, you're a little groggy and they don't even let you drive yourself home. You got to be picked up. So I was looking for nonsense to watch and I came across this show, Perfect Match on Netflix, which I don't really watch too many of these shows, but it's like, remember this Korean one I watched? It's like the opposite of that because it's all sexed up. The concept is every night you have to couple up with somebody and the people who don't get coupled up go home. So, and everybody's super hot and making out all the time. Like one of the events was everybody has to kiss everybody blindfolded and with like headphones on and then rate the kiss. And then, they present the scores and the people who have the highest scores win the round. Anyway, and all the contestants on it are people from their previous Netflix dating shows, which I've never watched. Like if you've watched, I don't know, they have a lot apparently. They probably have apparently a lot of reality shows on Netflix because they're all on different ones. But it's very good. I talk to the screen. I highly recommend Perfect Match. It's really, it's horny. It's super horny. And all the women are wearing thong bathing suits and they're just making out with each other and the sex, it's interesting.
Okay, then. I'll take your word for it.
I would recommend it. I think Mrs. Wombat would enjoy it. Does she like that? Does she like sexy shows?
No, not really.
Really? Oh.
Yeah.
I don't think Mrs. Chippy would like it either.
Yeah. She does like watching Tournament of Champions season 4 with me.
What is that?
That is the Guy Fieri Food Network super cooking competition where they do a bracket like March Madness. And they have the best chefs in the country. And it's really interesting and it's really exciting. And Chibi, I know you don't like cooking shows. And I wouldn't tell you to watch any other ones.
Right.
But I actually think you would really like this one.
What's it on?
It's on Food Network, which means it'll probably be on HBO Max.
Oh.
and it's really, you know, the tension and the drama in cooking of watching these people who are really at the top of their game. They're not like, you could see the skill in what they're doing, and you know that they're not fucking around. These are really good chefs.
It's not bullshit, is what you're saying.
It's not bullshit. The competition is real. They really want to win. And you know, the last episode was very dramatic. The most recent episode, my wife was in tears at the end of it.
Oh my God.
Like literally tears streaming down her face. She couldn't believe what happened. That's how we got
Somebody
into
cut off
like,
one of their own fingers while Julian.
No, it's just because the competition is really, it's just two people cooking, but the competition is just so intense and the skill level is so high.
You sure she wasn't just hungry?
No,
like
we had
really
just
hungry.
We had just eaten. I know she was good.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, no, but again, I wouldn't tell you to watch other shows because I'm not, you know,
I
I'm better
understand.
than that.
Right.
But I think if you were
recommendations,
I'm saving my recommendations. I'm gonna say if you watch, this is the one. It would be Tournament of Champions.
Okay, duly noted. I will look for it on HBO Max.
Yeah, I feel like it should come there at some point.
Perfect match, though. I'm telling you.
I think I'll stick with my cookers.
It's good. Good.
Mm-hmm.
And it's in 4K. Very well produced.
Right.
They zoom right in. They make no bones. Like if the woman is wearing a bikini, like there's going to be a very tight shot of the bikini. You're going to see it in 4K glory. You're going to see everything. It's very good. And apparently there's nudity in it because there's the nudity warning on top. I'm still waiting for the nudity, but hopefully soon. And some of the people are very unhinged. Do you like watching completely unhinged people?
No, not really.
One of the women, her name is Carousel.
Okay.
With a K.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And she did make a comment, something like everybody gets to go for a ride or something like that.
Everyone gets a turn.
A ride, I think, on the carousel.
Okay.
Like sex.
Yeah, I understand.
Yeah, like penis and vagina.
I wait, no, can you wait?
Hot dog donut.
Like, is that how you're supposed to do it?
Hot dog donut. Anyway, perfect match.
Gotcha.
It's good. All right. Should we do new releases?
Sure.
Or talk more about perfect match?
No,
I told
think
Mr. Cheapy all about it.
I think we're good.
Okay. The new Destiny thing came out.
I know people seem to really like it. Can you believe
also
that game
not. I see people that also don't like it.
Oh, really? Can you believe that game is 9 years old and still relevant?
I guess, yeah, it's making money.
Yeah, no, that's crazy. I mean, good for them. It's pretty impressive.
I know their art design. Every time I see it, still I'm like, oh, that looks cool.
Yeah, I agree.
So, yeah, like that. I don't know. Somehow they made a space character like that. There's not that much customization, but every one of them still looks like cool. Right? Like that's not easy to pull off for a lot of games. A lot of games wanted to be Destiny.
Yep. And yet, Destiny was the one that kind of pulled it off.
Right. I don't know if they could. Do you think, like, are they just going to do Destiny 2 forever?
I think they're going to do Destiny 2. Yeah, I think they'll do Destiny 2 as long as they can. If they ever change it to Destiny 3, I think it would still just be Destiny 2, just with a new coat of paint, maybe, and more stuff added to what's already there. I don't think they would tell people at this point, after 9 years, I don't think they're going to tell people they have to start all over again.
Right. I think this was like my game of the year, like, I don't know, 7 years ago or something.
9 years ago?
Still making it happen.
Yeah, I don't know. I haven't played it in so long.
But Destiny, I mean, the other thing is Destiny 2 is also the reason why so many companies are trying to make a Destiny 2, because they want to be able to make one game for 9 years and make a lot of money and not have to keep churning out new stuff, without. Yeah.
No, and games, it's very hard to do, as we've seen. Like, it's almost impossible. It is
nearly impossible. You could count the amount of games you could do that. The amount of games that have succeeded at that, you could count on one hand.
Yep. What else we got?
Blood Bowl 3. Did we all get copies of Blood Bowl 3?
No. Maybe. I don't know. It's possible. There's a lot of emails in this email box.
Oh, well, if you did, let me know.
Sorry, that's from the colonoscopy, the extra burps and farts.
Settlers of Catan for consoles. Anyone play that?
No.
A long time ago, I did.
Yeah.
When it was on Xbox Live Arcade.
Yeah, I remember that. Okay, so I'm not crazy. That did come out before, right?
Absolutely, it did. It was an Xbox Live Arcade game.
So why is it out now and they're acting like it's something new and unique?
They probably made it new and unique.
That sounds like bullshit to me. Yeah, that's all I got. Loot Box Life Plus.
Octopath Traveler 2 came out.
Yes.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah. I know I played some of the first, but just didn't stick with it. But
I think it's getting positive reviews.
Yeah, I'm sure it's very good. It's a is this what's caused the controversy?
No.
With the JRPG stuff?
No.
No, it was something else.
We'll get to that in a minute. I think we're almost there.
So I can still, before we get to that, I can still call this a good JRPG?
I don't know. Maybe. No. It's I do know, actually.
How about the Bit Trip collection? That interests me for $10 on Switch.
Sure,
So
enjoy that.
Yeah.
I liked those Bit Trip games.
I know you do.
I'm glad.
Mm-hmm.
What else?
Thank you.
I'm glad you get to experience them more.
So many Switch games.
Pillars of the Earth? What is that? A text adventure based on the book? Or a graphic adventure or something? You ever read that? Pillars of the Earth?
Nope.
Like a big fantasy series. Anyway.
I don't know how to read.
We forgot this. Are we done with the new releases?
Sure,
Yeah,
we can be done.
Cool. There's some big shopping news this week that Wombat actually texted me about this morning, that if you're a Verizon wireless customer, you can get an Xbox Series S for half off. What is that, $150?
Yeah, $150. Mm-hmm.
And you bought one or no?
I did.
Nice.
I ended up getting one too.
What? You talk shit about it and then you bought one.
We both talked shit about it at one point, but as like something else.
Right.
Yeah, $150. I don't know. I can
it's a good DVD player.
I can deploy it somewhere.
Right.
It might go in. Yeah, I was gonna say it may go in the bedroom.
Right. The controller itself is worth $60.
That was part of that was part of the reasoning. I went and looked at it. I'm like, I could always use another controller, and I don't know. Dash plays a lot of games upstairs on the old Xbox, and a lot of them are digital, and some of them, those Monster Jam games have like 3.5-minute load times on the original Xbox. So
this kid's got shit to do. He can't be waiting.
Exactly. We gotta.
It'll be like
he's got some dicks to make.
A revelation to not have those.
Right.
He's got to present some dicks to his fellow students the next day. He can't be waiting. This is taking away from his creative dick making.
He's got to diagram those dicks on some blueprints and yeah.
So yeah, that's a pretty good deal actually. All right, let's do Wombat's Fortnightly News.
All right.
Maybe we can skip some of these.
Okay, we will.
Which ones do you like?
Well, I was just going to say that the next season of Fortnite is next week, so that should be very exciting. The big leak is that a character from Attack on Titan is going to be in the Battle Pass. I don't know anything about Attack on Titan, so that's all I have to say about that.
That's the one with the big giants.
Yeah, it's not. It's like one of the human characters, I guess. I don't know. It doesn't.
Giant killer.
It doesn't mean much to me, but if you're into that, that's something that should get you very excited. All right, let's see. Do you want to skip? What else do you want to skip here?
I don't know. I sent this JRPG thing to
I was
Mrs.
say you're
TV.
the one who wants to talk about that. So
it's kind of not that interesting, really. It's really, I don't know. It's a bunch of I don't know. I don't even want to talk about it. It's pretty dumb. It was basically the producer of Final Fantasy was responding to an interview about somebody asked him the differences between JRPGs and Western RPGs. And he talked about how at some points, the JRPG in Japan, at least for the developers, had a negative connotation because maybe back then the games weren't as strong or something.
They were stronger. They were just
I didn't quite understand. I have a feeling there might be some lost in translation here, or also he seems to really only be talking about Western media and the use of the term JRPG.
I mean, they don't call them JRPGs in Japan, do they?
They do, actually. He says they don't, but I put Mrs. Cheapy on this because, you kind of have to. And she says, yeah, that term is used in Japan, but also, she found like a year earlier, like Kotaku wrote an article about this guy, Yoshida, and how he doesn't put enough people of color in the games, or especially the new Final Fantasy game that's coming out. And they, they basically accused like the developers of being racist for not putting, for having white Europeans in the game and Japanese people in the game. So I think like his response about this whole JRPG thing is, this is what Mrs. Cheapy said. She thinks his response about this whole JRPG thing is mostly about sort of snubbing them in like the previous year and like sort of butting in where they don't think like the Western media even like belongs. I don't think like the reality is they don't give a shit if people say something's a JRPG or not, but they consider their game an RPG. Just like, in France, they don't consider French fries, they call them like fried potatoes or frites or whatever.
Pommes frites.
Right. So it's like the same thing. Like they would just call like they don't call it Japanese food in Japan. They call it food, Well, actually, they do call it Japanese food in Japan. That doesn't work. But
don't they call it,
Nihon
teppanyaki?
Ryori. They do actually has a term for that.
Just like, when that term came about, it was like there was very clear like differences in the genres.
And
right?
and also they were generally speaking RPGs from Japan.
Yeah, yes, made for Japan, Japanese people also.
So to call it a JRPG,
those were turn-based. Like, yes, they were turn-based, party-based.
You knew what that meant. You knew what the game was when you said that.
Where they were 2D.
Right.
And lots of text.
Lots of text. Where the Western RPGs at that time were mainly on computers, had a lot of customization to them. They had a lot of text as well, but you didn't have like, there was more real time or strategy type combat rather than just strictly select a spell or an attack. And
they were less weird. Thing. The Western games were less weird, I would say.
I would say they were more
maybe
boring.
Slightly less creative. Yeah, I was going to say
you say less weird. I would say
not a bad thing.
More boring.
Yeah, right, yeah. Less creative. I could say
it's Diablo. I guess would be
sure,
sort of or Baldur's Gate or something like that.
But today, I haven't played a Final Fantasy game in like a few minutes, but I would imagine like Final Fantasy is like a full-blown thing now, and it doesn't really have much to do with those games. Like,
correct, it doesn't, but it's still got a interesting combat style. At least I think I played the last one, 15 or whatever it was. I don't remember what we're on now.
Right.
The one where they're driving around in the big black car. And
I
that one had real-time combat, kind of. It was like you held down a button and they attacked in real time.
Yeah. So it doesn't really to me, that doesn't trigger like what I feel like a JRPG is. I think of like an older, it fits the mold of the game from back in the day. I don't know if it has much meaning today just because it comes from Japan.
Yeah. It doesn't mean like, I don't
think
consider
they still
the modern Final Fantasies JRPGs in that sense. Like it's still an RPG, but it's a modern RPG.
Is it a modern Japanese RPG?
Maybe, but they're not as shoehorned as they were back then, right?
I don't know.
But it certainly is a Japanese RPG because it's made in Japan by Japanese people.
Japanese people, yeah. It's not like you're saying something so crazy.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, if you
they're broader than they were back then, though. Like when this was a thing, like early 90s.
Yes.
And like everything was like,
you knew what you were getting.
Exactly what you were getting.
Yes.
Right. It was just different levels of quality of that. And every once in a while you'd get something slightly weird, like a Vagrant story type of thing where it mixed up and it's like, oh, this is turn-based still, but now I'm attacking like specific body parts.
Right.
Like there's variations on it.
Yes. So again, this seems like, I don't know. Then there was like a whole other thing with like, you can't say that a game is very Japanese if it's in like a negative context because it's racist. Did you see that? I sent that to you. I put Mrs. Cheapy on that too. She was very interested in that.
I saw it. I don't know if it's up to the person who thinks it's racist or not. So I don't have.
I think
opinion.
that was a misunderstanding.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, I don't have an opinion on if you call something very Japanese. It's all in the context that you're saying it. Like if I call sushi very Japanese,
well, in this case,
is that racist? I don't think so.
In this case, it was a tweet from Arthur Guys from was that how you say his last name? I don't even know. Guys, but it was from 10, 12 years ago. And he gave a quick review of Vanquish on Twitter.
Sure.
When even the character limit was was less, I think. But anyway, he didn't like the game and he said it was very Japanese. He didn't say, he said it was, I forgot what he said, but something like it was clumsy or what, I don't know, but very Japanese. Now, I don't think that's an insult on the culture of Japan or the Japanese people to say that a game has similar elements to previous, or forget it's a game, it's a fucking product that sits on a store shelf. To say that a product that a country produces is similar to their other products that they produced in the past, and it's not, or rather it's not a good version of that product, right? Because you could say something is very Japanese, but also in a positive, we really liked it, it's very Japanese. Sure. And people would probably understand what you meant without saying anything. They would say oh, it must be pretty wild, colorful. I don't know.
There's a lot that goes into that when you say that in your mind, right? There's
sort of
game mechanics too, that it's this
Balan Wonderland is what comes to mind when I think of a game that's very Japanese, but
in a negative way, you mean?
In all the wrong way.
Okay.
Is it Japanese? It better be.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Because the buttons just weren't the controls just weren't right for the type of game that it wanted to be. The cutscenes were very outrageous, and it just didn't have that structure that I think maybe a Western person might be expecting from a game that has that kind of platform style on its outset. And to me, that felt very Japanese in the way that the game was structured. And it is a Japanese game made by Japanese people. So I think that is accurate. I think it's fair.
Gene Park would disagree with you.
Well, that's fair enough too.
Mrs. Chibi, I put Mrs. Chibi on it. Her pet peeve is fake internet outrage. Nothing gets her going more than fake internet outrage. And so the first thing she does on something like this is she's are there any Japanese people involved in this discussion? And she quickly came up with no, there isn't any. And she's this is dumb. I don't understand why people are getting upset on behalf of Japanese people. It's really she doesn't get it. How are people spending their time?
Right. And yeah, it's all in the context, of course, but I mean, it's also it's part of their culture. Japan's culture is their style of game, and they're one of the best countries in the world of making games. There's no doubt about that, right? So,
and they're not all going to be great. And you can, and when you say that one comes out that isn't great and it's very Japanese, we can infer what that means. I mean, we don't think it means that the developers are inferior, DNA wise. It's the product didn't come out great, right? And it has some failings that previous games had.
It didn't come out great, or it doesn't translate well to the Western market. The person who's talking about it, right?
It's made for Japanese people.
Yeah, this is just not. This doesn't make sense to the majority of people in the West.
If a German car magazine reviewed whatever the latest American car is, and in the review they said they didn't like the car, it's a very American car, everybody would know what that meant, right? Mm-hmm. And not a single American would be offended. They would be
I wouldn't go that far.
Analogy.
Okay, these days, today in 2023, people would be offended, but you can see how ridiculous. It's not a comment on the people that made the car. Look, it's a product that they put out for Americans that they think Americans are going to buy. It may not translate well elsewhere.
Yeah,
and it just may not be a good version of it.
If you're playing a game, or you're even watching a video game, whatever, you have, at least I have a pretty good idea. I think I would be able to guess, is this a game that was made in North America? Is this a game that was made in Europe? Or is this a game that was made in Japan?
Yes.
right? Like
That is
Canada.
something that most people who play a
North
lot
America,
of video games.
Canada is in
Oh,
North
you
America.
said North America. You
Yeah.
did say North America. I
Yeah.
take it back.
Most-
I'm sorry.
Most big gamers would be able to make that distinction upon playing a game.
Yeah, the
without
Canada
having
thing
that
gets a
information.
little bit iffy just because of the Ubisoft.
Right.
There's a heavy French influence on those some of those Canadian games. Are we moving on from
Yes.
this conversation?
Yes.
Okay,
yes.
good.
Yes. Let's move on to what we're playing. I hope that Wombat isn't too offended. We can talk about it quickly. But I rented Hogwarts Legacy from my library. It's due back Friday.
You just need to say the CAGcast stance is that trans rights are human rights.
Well,
And then you can
Hogwarts
talk about the game all you
Legacy,
want.
colon
But you have to
trans
say
rights or
I don't have to do anything. First of all, don't put me in a spot where
I don't know
I
what the wording was.
What's that?
I didn't have the stance down all the way. I agree with the stance, but I don't know the wording of it.
It's trans rights are human rights.
Trans rights or human rights. Okay. Colon Hogwarts Legacy.
Yes, that's the name.
Is
That
that-
is the
is
name.
that-
Of
That's the
that's
DLC
the name
that's
of the
coming
game.
out.
Okay.
That's the full name of the game.
The game
I
is
like how Chibi refuses to say it.
trans rights are human rights. Great.
Thank you.
I mean, really. Oh my God.
Yep.
This is worse than
No, go ahead.
JRPGs.
Talk
The
about your
game-
game. Talk
It's not
about
my
the
game. I rented it from the library. It's the most popular game out right now. The amazing thing is that this game sold 12 million copies in 2 weeks, but that's not the amazing thing. The amazing thing is that fucking Elden Ring sold 12 million copies in 2 weeks, and Elden Ring is not fucking Harry Potter. Like, it seems like it's not that really that's super impressive that Hogwarts sold that much.
I think it's really about timing and what else have you got?
Yeah.
And if you're looking for something new and it's the beginning of the year, I mean,
The best
you don't have
compliment.
many options.
Okay, but I'm saying it's more of I'm more impressed that Elden Ring was managed to reach the same level as this
I think
game.
Elden Ring reached that level for the same reasons, timing.
Oh, fair enough.
There was not much out when Elden
Right.
Ring came.
Fair-
and it
fair
had
enough.
a
Good
Not
point.
only was there not
very
much
big
out,
word of mouth.
Yeah,
there was also a huge drought before it too, before that came out, and really any good quality games because of the pandemic. So Elden
good
Ring
point.
had a lot going for it, and even I bought it, and I enjoyed Elden Ring. I can't say I didn't.
we all got our $60 worth out of that, or
I didn't.
whatever.
Yeah.
I
You
didn't
didn't?
buy
You
it
didn't get it?
or
Oh.
play it because I knew it was not for me.
It could have been for you for a little bit. Anyway, the biggest compliment that I can give to Hogwarts Legacy is that it does not come across as a Warner Brothers game at all. Like, and that's
No Nemesis system.
well, that's not a great. I mean, people enjoy the Nemesis system. So
No
I
Bugs
like the
Bunny?
Nemesis.
what?
No Bugs Bunny?
I'm just saying, in terms of the game design and the general aesthetic of the game, like the game is stunning visually.
Okay.
It's
Some of those
I-
Batman games.
Yeah, I don't have a
not
Warner
like
Brothers
this though.
putting
Not-
out bad graphics games.
not with these beautiful outdoor environments, but also equally beautiful indoor environments that are seamlessly integrated. Like you just open up a door and you walk in and there's no loading like 99% of the time. You walk into I don't know, I'm not a big Harry Potter person, so like none of
Diagon Alley.
none of that shit means anything
So
to
do
me.
you choose your own house, or does the game choose
You-
a house for you?
It will choose the house for you, but if you don't like it, you can force it to.
You see, that's kind of lame. They should say this is your house. You got.
Well, they want people to have fun with the game. They don't want to, it's
Right.
So we went Slytherin we made a female character. and-
Slytherin. Wow. Okay.
but it doesn't really mean that much. You have a lot of control in the dialogue about if you're an asshole or not. And, I asked Mrs. Cheapy what she liked because she's really into the game and she's not a Harry Potter person either, but she is an action RPG person. And this game is a really good action RPG. She says one of her favorite things besides like the awesome architecture and outdoor landscapes is that the character that you make is actually presented in a realistic way. Like they look like a real person, your student, to the point where, there's a complexion slider in the game, like how bad is your acne as a teenager. And even on the lowest, the best level, your skin still looks like a real teenager. It's not like you can't get it perfect. You know what I'm saying? Like it looks like a person. So, and she said, and the voice acting and everything is really good as well. The combat is great. Like really, the only knock that I have against the game is there's a lot of gear pickup, and the menu systems could be streamlined better. Like when you pick up, you're constantly picking up gear, and it pops up. You've picked up new gloves. You shouldn't have to like push that many buttons to go look at those gloves, right? It should be more context sensitive, a lot of these things, because there's, you have a bunch of different menus. It could make things easier. But other than that, it's really good.
Have you tried shouting menuist, show me-us out loud and see if that doesn't work?
No. That's really it. Just like that one quality of life issue with the menus, and that's pretty much it. We got our broom recently, and it's pretty awesome to fly around on the broom. Like I showed it to Mrs. Cheapy's friend when she came over, who's a big Harry Potter fan, and she was like blown away.
Nimbus 2000?
No, I have one that they don't have that. This takes place 100 years before Harry Potter.
Got it.
It's really good. It's really good. And the cool thing about the gear system is it does that thing where if you find good gear, you don't have to use it. If it's ugly, you can make it look like any other gear that you've picked up before. So you can really make your character, you don't even have to hold on to that gear. It just remembers that you had it. You can sell it. So you can really have a lot of options on how you make your character.
Gotham Knights did something similar. Also Warner Brothers.
Yeah. It's good. I would imagine it's another compliment that I could give it is that if it didn't have the Harry Potter license to it, it would still be a good game. Like it doesn't rely on that because it means most of that shit means nothing to me. You know what I'm saying? Like it's not like, ooh, I'm clapped when I saw a Dingledorf wing on the building. I don't think that's a real thing.
No, you nailed it. That's true.
Dingledorf wing?
Dingledorf, yeah.
That's the wing?
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So that's Hogwarts Legacy. What else?
Great. Here I played a little bit of Horizon 2. I don't know what the full title is. It has
Forbidden West.
Yes, that is what it's called. Good job. I played a little bit of that because they added it to the Sony PS Plus second tier. Was that Premiere? I forget. Premium?
Nobody knows.
No one knows. But they added it to that, so I downloaded it and played a little bit of it. Until I played it really up until I got into the main open world section, the first town, and I did a quest from there. It's a really good looking game. It is still hitting dinosaur robots with sticks. So if you're into hitting robots with sticks,
you didn't like the first one.
I didn't love the first one.
You didn't finish it, right? No way.
I didn't finish it. I mean,
I didn't finish it either. It was too much.
I finished it.
Too much game.
I did.
It is a lot of game. There's a lot of game.
You got to avoid some of the side noise. Just go for it.
There's a lot of side noise, and I need to just stick with the main path. I'll probably give it another shot. And again, I just wish there was more. I wish fighting robots was more interesting to me because fighting robots isn't very interesting to me, generally speaking.
Is that why you didn't like Atomic Heart?
That is part of the reason why I didn't like Atomic Heart, which I also tried. I downloaded that. I already uninstalled Atomic Heart.
That's really a good-looking game. Did you know that? I mean, did you feel that?
Did you know that the first 45 minutes of that game will put anyone to sleep?
There's nothing. Yeah, I actually liked it. I really dug the art design. You're right though. You are watching a lot of things happen and doing nothing for the first 45 minutes of the game. Also, I found out that game might be supporting the Russian offensive in Ukraine. I don't know if that's true, but somebody hit me up on Twitter yelling at me for having a sponsorship from that game for Best Buy. I'm like, do I have to be like doing deep dives into every game that comes out to see if I can accept sponsorships? Because like I didn't see that one coming.
That was pretty funny.
I felt like Microsoft would do their due diligence first before putting that on Game Pass. Like that shouldn't be up to me at that point. I feel like if it's on the Xbox Game Store on Game Pass, I feel like people have checked into it, but maybe not. I don't know. Yell at them first, please.
Okay.
Thank you.
Ship, how's Aka R treating you?
I enjoy Aka R, Jeff Mentor's latest trippy game.
Atari. Yeah, it's an Atari game. It's Jeff Minter. It's, lots of colors and lots of rhythm, and you're shooting bombs into other bombs to make really cool patterns. Is that sort of
with I don't know, bright colors, arcadey music, a sense that you're not quite sure you understand all the mechanics, even though there's not that many mechanics, because it starts talking about like different levels like of depth, and whether you're in the foreground or I don't remember what wording it uses. It's confusing. But think
the colors are cool.
Yeah, I think that just depends on sometimes if you set a bomb and the enemies are on a different level or they go between levels, then it won't do the chain reaction thing. It's got some shooting that you do as well, that affects like how the combos count. So I don't know. It's $20. I feel like slightly pricey, but I also didn't mind spending it because I don't know. I like Jeff Minter's games. Space. You might know him from Space Giraffe.
Yep.
Everybody loves Space
Is this
Giraffe.
using the full hardware on the Xbox Series X, like really pushing every pixel to the fullest?
Yes. It's like daggers to your eyes.
Perfect. So the opposite of Hogwarts.
Yep.
By the way, what the fuck is up with Hogwarts parking on the Xbox store?
I saw that. I saw you. Listen, yeah, I saw you said that to us.
What?
I don't know what that is.
That was on Xbox? I thought that was on...
That's Xbox.
Apple.
And
It's on Xbox. It's an adults-only game on Xbox. It's called Hogwarts Parking. It apparently has gambling in it,
Yes.
and all you do, I guess, is park cars.
Yes.
I don't know. There's nothing Hogwarts related to the game.
No, it's a car garage.
Other than they know people are going to be searching for that word, and it'll pop up.
Not just pop up first before
That's
Hogwarts Legacy.
That's good. That's good SEO right there.
They must be so
$4.
And I don't know why, because L comes before P. So
Yeah, it is a car parking game. Park
Maybe
your beautiful racing cars in suitable places. Try to complete all chapters. There are very difficult parking sections. Park the car in the best way with multiple camera angles. L, park, back park, flat park. A lot of sections are available.
sounds worth your $3.
It's a complete parking simulation game.
Have you seen the Hulk game that's on there? That's not the Hulk. It's called like Angry Green Man or something like that.
That's pretty good.
It's also like a $5 game where you play as the Hulk in a town, but I actually saw a clip of it on YouTube and I saw it in the store, and it's just, you don't do anything other than it's like a ripoff of somehow they lifted the Hulk, like some Hulk skin, and they threw it in the game, and you just run around as the Hulk in a barely rendered city, and somehow that's on the Xbox.
So we're at Nintendo Switch levels of quality control here now.
Yeah, it's really scary what's going on there. They need to get their shit together. Speaking of getting their shit together, I also played Midnight Suns, the Venom DLC that came out. That's good. Venom is a better character to use than Deadpool in the game. I'll say that much. I enjoyed that, and you can have a boss fight against Dracula.
Does he have fun banter with himself?
He does, and Spider-Man.
Nice.
Spider-Man's in there too.
I've been watching that game. I know that the all-inclusive version has gotten down to what, like $60 now?
Yeah, it'll go down probably a little bit more, and when it does, and you're gonna want the everything version.
Yeah, that's the one I'm eyeballing.
Yeah, you're gonna want Venom and you're gonna want Deadpool. Yeah. So when that hits that right price, I think you'll like it. It's a lot of fun.
I'm thinking I might swoop in at $50 once it gets down to $50.
That sounds about. I would say you'd be happy with that. So, and you could probably play that with your kids around. There's no blood or anything.
Yeah, they would be fine with it.
Yeah.
We watched Harry Potter this weekend.
Did you say trans rights are human rights before you watched it?
Yeah,
Did everybody hold hands?
We got in a circle and chanted it before the movie started.
Human rightsio.
So yeah, they
like it.
They did like it. Yeah,
people like it.
Yeah,
seems popular. All right.
Yep.
let's move on to the CAG bag. I think we're there.
We are.
Let's do a selective CAG bag here. Let's do this one from DGO. He says, I keep forgetting you're into rowing. I got a Concept 2 row ERG February of last year, which I have been using since. Any YouTube resources you recommend for the beginner to the intermediate person? Mrs. Shipwreck also asked me for this information.
Yes, we got the Echan rower. Yes,
it's very similar to the Concept 2. Echan is a good name. I like the. Yep. I laughed when I heard that name, Echan. First of all, Mrs. Shipwreck is on fucking fire. Like, for some reason, like, because we have Apple Watches and we're in like contacts, like, I get a notification every time she does a workout. We all do whenever we finish a workout on here. And her, like, my battery is being drained because she's just working out all day long. It's rowing, it's outdoor walk, it's all kinds of shit going down. But to answer your question, DGO, and I actually sent this to Mrs. Shipwreck because she asked me the same question. You got to check out Training Tall on YouTube and Instagram, and specifically this one video called Official 2023 Rowing Form Checklist, Perfect Stroke. And that will tell you everything that you need to know. It's only like six or 7 minutes. Did Mrs. Shipwreck watch that? Have you been checking out her rowing form?
She has. Yeah.
Did it help at all?
I'm not staring at her while she's rowing.
I mean, did she say that it helped her at all?
Sure. She
was Wombat, wake up. What are you doing? Checking your work email?
Of your videos.
I would do that. That's rude.
All right. I can see you are. The screen changed. I can see. I know exactly what's fucking happening over there.
We can see it in his glasses.
She didn't mention that her form got better after watching the video?
Sure. Let's go with that.
Did she say that I'm not being helpful enough? Do I need to be more helpful?
You're
or too helpful?
Great job.
The right amount of help? Just the right amount?
Right amount of help. Perfect amount of help.
Okay. Yeah, Training Tall is awesome. If you go to Orange Theory or have a rowing machine or want to become a vegan, I recommend Training Tall. Or just like looking at tall people that look like Jim Carrey. This other question comes from Knights Eternal. He says, what would you put your focus on if you quit games entirely? Well, why would you need to quit entirely? Why couldn't you just...
What would I do? I don't know.
Think about it. Well, why? I mean, why does it have to be entirely? What if a person would cut down? Like, why would you have to quit entirely?
I mean, wouldn't it be sort of? I feel like that's a weird chicken before the egg kind of question. Like, you quitting games entirely. Now, what are you gonna do? Shouldn't it be more of I found this thing I like to do, so I don't have as much time to play games?
Yeah, that's sure. Or like I found this thing to I found this thing to do that I like as much or more as playing games. So now it's taken away some of my time from playing games.
There are many days during the week where I don't play as many games because I'm driving my children back and forth from activities. Does that count?
No, that does not count. But
does that count?
If if you're masturbating furiously several times a day and that's cutting down on your gaming time, that would count.
Okay. Well, I'm not doing that.
Do you know that Target sells so many things that you can fuck now? It's ridiculous. Like right there on the shelf. And it's like their own brand. It's not even like fair. Yeah.
Anything could be something that you can
No. I mean, this is designed for that in the fucking section right there. Like it's just, and they seem to be adding new ones all the time. Like not for men and women. There's like many varieties of things that you can fuck. I'm surprised to see it. It's just right there.
Yeah.
I thought they were like a little more conservative than that, but I guess you don't need to fuck stuff because that shit's, I guess they're selling them. They wouldn't have it there.
Yep.
So to answer Mace's question, obviously I play less games because I'm playing more table tennis and making signs for the table tennis club and scratching more. And I like to see the progress on that. So, but I don't think one would need to quit something entirely unless, I don't know, they couldn't. If it's something like drinking where it's a problem and you have to quit entirely, otherwise you fall into a horrible problem, that would make sense. But I don't know why you would have to quit a hobby that you like 100%. Even if it's occupying a lot of your time, you could just make adjustments. Chip, have you seen those things? Does your Target have those things that you can fuck or no? You haven't noticed. You must know every inch of that Target.
I mean, I know the area that you're talking about, and I know, yes, they they have vibrators and stuff.
No, I'm not even talking about that. I'm talking about for men. They're devices that you are supposed to fuck. And they have different ones.
I have not seen this.
Do you think like my target is more like progressive?
They might be targeting you.
It's not. No, it's not. And they put it right by the bathroom. So like if you're going to the bathroom.
Oh, by the pharmacy bathroom?
We don't have, this one doesn't even have a pharmacy. It's a small Target. It's like a mini Target. So like it's right, you know, it's just right there. And it's like eye level too. And it's like, it's the stroker. It's got that minimalist Target packaging on it where it's just the shape of I can't believe, go on target.com right now.
I'm looking this up on target.com because they are very good at targeting things.
Stroker.
To you.
Let's see. Stroker. Look up Stroker. Yeah. Look up Stroker.
I'll just peruse that end cap the next time I'm there.
Vibrating Stroker. Hello Cake Stroker. Hello Cake, I think, is their brand of sex toys. I think. It's pretty, yeah. Look at a rib massager for men. I'm pretty sure that's their own brand because it sort of matches the style of their their pasta and stuff. You can fuck the pasta too, by the way, if you want to save a few bucks and have the same experience. No, I don't know. I haven't bought one of those things. I don't think I would do that. I don't think I want that on my Target Circle history.
Yeah, got to get that 5% off.
The stroker. They have the Hello Cake Little Sucker pulsating rechargeable thing. They have the Hello Cake Stroker double-sided toy.
Are you sure this is an official Target that's by your house?
Yeah. And then when you see the packaging, you're really not going to look at it? Here. I'm going to show you. Oh my God. You're going to shit your pants when I put this on the outline. Here, look right here. Boom.
I'm looking.
Look. It's right there. It's right below the question.
Oh,
I see it now.
It says Stroker. It's a minimalist packaging. Stroker, a double-sided toy for penis play. It's exactly like that on the shelf. And it looks like something.
I have seen this stuff.
See?
It's not a Target brand.
Are you sure?
Yeah, because there was like a woman's like picture next to it too. It was on an end cap at mine.
Oh.
And there was a bunch. I didn't notice the men's toys, but there was a bunch of women's toys, and it was just like in the main aisle, just like it was by like the dishes in mine.
No, this is by the condoms on mine.
No, I know you're saying where it's in mine though. It was like a display. Like this would be like similar to like when they brought in Harry's for the first time, and it was like a display there on the end, not the clearance end cap side of the aisles, but like the main aisle end caps.
Yeah. Now this one has its own. It's just on the shelf with the condoms, and they have so many different things that you can fuck or be fucked by. So go Target.
Right on target.
Tonight's episode sponsored by Stroker, a double-sided toy for penis play.
I can't.
It's right there.
It's just right there on the box.
Eye level.
Right.
I swear. And if you have to take a leak at Target, you have to walk by it. You can't miss it.
Super legible font too. So
I know,
good
it's
on
great.
their art department.
Yep. And they have all kinds of, vibrators too in the same packaging where you can see the shape of the vibrator right on the outside.
Well,
what a country.
You want to know the shape.
Yeah, of course. Of course.
Yeah, that's important.
Anyway, I think we've said it all.
Okay.
We've covered it all.
I think so.
We've learned a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And that's it. People complain when we don't do shows, I've noticed.
Yeah, well, that's a compliment, and take it as a compliment.
I know, but people got to calm down a little bit. You can't be too pushy. You have to be respectful. I mean, people you just say like, oh, is everything, if you say like, you haven't done a show in a while, is everything okay? That's cool. But like, if you get too pushy, it may have the counter result, I feel. Just some pro tips to the fans that are left, the loyalists. Anyway, we've done enough. We'll see you next week. Maybe.
Bread's done.